Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Trump potentially wanting to pull the U.S. out of NATO. Now, granted, this is all kind of grain of salt type stuff, and also, not really. Not really, actually. He's kind of just said that he wants to, but there is good news in this. He can't really do it on his own. It's like a Congress type thing, apparently. So we have that at least, but we'll still talk about this whole concept as an idea, or just the idea of him doing that if he wanted to. I don't know. I don't know why he'd want to in the first place. Part of it's because he's bitchy and he can't boss them around because he thinks he's some kind of. I mean, you're the president of the United States, but you don't get to boss everyone else around. All right, and that's Trump has an ego problem to where if he can't boss somebody around, he's gonna get pissed about it. He's gonna whine and cry, and now he wants to pull out NATO. And now again, he doesn't 100% want to. He's never said that he will 100% do it, but nevertheless, he's discussed it multiple times, and he says, "Oh, we need to evaluate the value of NATO." Like, okay, should we evaluate our relationship and with Israel because they're not doing anything for us? Yeah, we might be sending troops on the ground into Iran, but yet they're not going to help us at all with that part. They're just going to kind of sit back and watch our troops die for them. Whole other thing I can rant about, but anyways, let's stick on topic. So obviously, if you don't know what NATO is, it's an alliance between European allies and the United States. It was made a long time ago to counter Russian aggression, the Soviet Union at the time, of course. Anyway, sorry, I forgot to read this, but as of April of, okay, my bad. Point being, Trump wants to pull out NATO again. Good thing, as this part says, legal challenge. Despite his threats, the law passed by Congress in 2023 says that he can't do it without their approval. So at least for once, he can't do it without their approval because he does a lot of things without their approval, such as wars and bombing countries. Well, I don't know if you need approval from Congress to bomb a country, but maybe you should because he's bombed multiple. Again, point being is why would you want to pull out NATO? And his reasoning is possibly because they won't help him with the Iran war. That's what he's pissed about, is that they will not help him with the Iran war. You want to know what NATO is? NATO is a defense alliance, meaning they're not going to just go on the offense for no reason because Trump said so. They're not going to do that because Trump is mad that they're not helping him. Guess what? They don't have to help him because it's not their war. It's not their conflict. Trump is the one that got the U.S. into this war because Israel said so. Even though Israel says, oh no, Trump does what he wants. We are just helping. No. You're getting all twisted here. Israel had a play in it. But again, point being is the fact that Trump just thinks that it's their responsibility to help us in our own conflict that we caused because Trump's an idiot. And he just thinks that they're going to bend the knee and say, okay, yeah, we'll help you. No, it's not their responsibility. It's not. It's not their responsibility to send their troops or send their resources to help us in this war that we caused. And I totally stand by all the European allies basically telling Trump to fuck off when he tried asking for all their help. I respect them for all telling him no, because Trump is probably not used to being told no in his entire life. He's probably rarely been told no in his entire life. Obviously, there are certain situations, but he didn't take no as an answer. That's why he's in the Epstein files. It's just a whole big thing, and it's like, why would you want to? First off, why are you so pissed that they're not helping? It's not their responsibility. Okay, I understand. Like, oh, well, they're our allies. They're supposed to help us. Like, yeah, okay, but again, this is a conflict that you started, Trump. Trump started this conflict for the sake of Israel, and it's not NATO's deal to get involved with this Middle East shit because there's always something going on down there. And guess what? I'm glad they stick out of it because, to be honest, who would want to be part of it all the time? And Trump, again, is on the verge of getting us into a long, multi-year war in the Middle East again because every single president, for some reason, has a bad habit of doing that, at least most of them. And Trump has no interest in stopping that trend. Trump has no interest in stopping that trend of us being in war in the Middle East for no reason. And it just seems like it's going to continue over and over. And it's going to be the next president's problem, too. When Trump is out of office, whoever takes his place is going to have to try to clean up, if they're not a Republican, they're going to have to try to clean up the pieces of what Trump left behind. Not just of this war situation, but of the economy and all the other shitty shit that is going on under Trump's second term. His second term is generally a disaster. I could rant about it all day. I could easily make a separate video just talking about it. And I might. Right now, that's not the problem. Is him wanting to pull out of NATO for such a little stupid thing. Oh, they won't help me in my problems, so I'm gonna bitch and whine about it on my stupid Truth Social. Blah blah blah. Like again, credit to all the European allies telling Trump to basically, essentially, again, fuck off. That they're not gonna help him with this conflict. Again, it's not their deal. It's not their business. Once again, NATO is a defense alliance, mostly to counter Russia. All right, it's not meant to really deal with the Middle East, unless like I don't know, if fucking Iran, yeah, sent a missile to Poland or a NATO country, then yeah, they would get involved. But guess what? They ain't doing that. So it's not their deal. It's not their problem. And they have no reason to get in this war. And I understand it. And we have Trump constantly saying, oh, we're winning. But then we're also potentially sending troops on the ground. And then Iran has no military force and we're crushing them. But then we're also sending troops on the ground. And then we're winning. And then we've won. He's obviously lying about this entire thing. And we don't actually even know what's true anymore, are we? We probably are, yeah. But the fact that troops might be sent there just shows that they still have a fighting force, and it's nowhere near over. And once we send troops on the ground, it's going to be a long, brutal conflict, potentially long, hopefully not, that results in the death of our troops for this, again, stupid, pointless war. Now, people and Republicans will say, oh, well, Iran's close to having a nuclear bomb, like, and a country that chants death to America shouldn't have nukes. Let me get Benjamin Netanyahu, his ass, has been saying this exact same line for years, for decades. Oh, Iran is close to having a nuclear bomb. Oh, Iran is close to having a nuclear bomb. Like, they've been saying that shit for over a decade, long over a decade. And guess what? Nothing's happened. And obviously, yeah, again, it would not be good for them to have a nuke at all. No. And it's not a good idea because obviously who would they nuke first? Probably Israel. And then us, and then everyone else. But who knows? Point being, if they were really so close, I think something would have happened by now. Granted, we don't want anything to happen, but I like, if we actually had 100% evidence that they did have nuclear missiles and we were trying to stop them, then yeah, I'd probably support this war like a tiny bit more. But the fact is, this war just started for no reason because Israel is basically pushing a hornet's nest, like, and then when they get attacked, like, oh no, America, I'm a victim, help me. That's essentially what's happening, is Israel's acting like a victim, and Trump is like, oh, I'll help you. And then he's demanding that the other European allies help chip in, and they're saying no, and then he's getting pissy about it, like, well, I'm going to pull out of NATO. I'm going to pull out of this party. Again, he can't do that again, luckily, without Congress approval, especially, even now, I don't think Congress would, if he said it like right now, I don't think Congress would actually do. I think NATO is one of those things, because, listen, Russia is still our enemy. I mean, they're still an adversary of ours. So is China. And, I saw this one comment section, a random ass comment under a post, saying that making a relationship with Russia would be more beneficial to the U.S. than continuing our relationship with our European allies, which just made me like, the fuck are you talking about? Are you insane? Like, yeah, sure, it'd be nice to try to make amends with some of our adversaries, but it's not going to happen, especially with Russia, I don't think. Especially with Putin in charge, absolutely not. Put someone else in charge and I'll talk, like, get rid of Putin and probably, yeah, but Putin, he's not a good guy. He's a terrible dude. And he's raging this war on Ukraine that's been going on for, 4 or 5 years now. It's just a crazy situation that we got people that actually believe that shit. Like, oh, we'd be better off a relationship with Russia. Like, are you stupid? I don't know, man. It's like one of those things. It's dumb. But like, again, Trump potentially wants to pull out of NATO. Again, the good thing is he can't. He cannot do it without Congress approval. But let's just talk about it as to what would happen. Well, one thing is, I don't think some people say NATO will completely collapse. I mean, we're definitely a big part of NATO. The U.S. is a massive part of NATO and spending. And yeah, we probably could spend a little bit less money towards it, to be honest. Speaking of which, I saw something stupid Trump said. So this is off topic, but he said we don't have funds to fund daycares around this country, but that's up to the states, right? But you have the funds to build your stupid ballroom and fund this war for Israel. That's what I find funny, is that he says shit like that. Oh, we don't have the funds to fund all these daycares around the country, but I can fund this war. I mean, what's more expensive, funding daycares or funding a war? I swear this man is actually stupid. I'm like, I could say so much if I want to. I'm not going to. I'm not going to turn into a whole. I mean, it already is a Trump rant, but I can make it like straight up. But this is mostly just about his idea of potentially leaving NATO, and his reasoning for it is absolutely stupid. Because again, he thinks he can just boss him around, which again, credit to them for standing up to him. Because again, he hasn't been told no much of in his life, I don't think. Like, I feel like when he was a kid, he could just cry in front of his parents and say, I want this toy, and then they'd get it for him. Because again, he was a rich little boy, so he got whatever he wanted, essentially. And Trump constantly says, oh, well, we'll make life affordable for everyone. Trump's never going to make life affordable. So, to actually be struggling under his shitty economy, which is currently going on. But it was back on that. Pulling out of NATO would be a big mistake. Because one, Russia is still an adversary to basically everyone in Europe. Right? Now, yeah, is Russia a superpower force that can crush all of Europe? Probably not. Maybe in the Soviet Union, but definitely not now. If they're struggling to take on Ukraine, yeah, I know it's not their actual active duty military. I mean, without any news, this conversation is obviously everyone will look at it. They're not going to just shoot people if they want to. It's not how it works. Granted, yeah, Russia constantly does some shit all the time. Like, oh, you breathe on me, bro. I'm going to fire at you. Right? But point being, Trump pulling out of NATO would be a big thing. All of our adversaries basically watch the U.S. fuck up all of our relationships with all of our allies. Our relationship with our European allies is strained, and Russia, China, and our other adversaries are just kind of watching as the U.S. basically isolates itself, and then soon we might have no allies other than Israel. And what is Israel going to do? Let's just say, if Russia and China both want to, okay, we have a common enemy, let's take out the United States, right? Would Israel go out of their way to help us? No, probably not. So, I absolutely find it absurd that there are legit Republicans who constantly chant that Israel is our greatest ally. With us. They don't do jack shit for us. They don't do shit for us. And it's like a beneficiary ally where they can trade together or they just help each other with other things. Israel doesn't do anything. Other than the fact that they take our money and we send our money to fund their genocide and their war. It's a whole ass thing. Trump wanted to pull out NATO, so no, he can't do it, so it's a good thing. But pulling out of NATO would again be a problem. Our enemies are basically just watching us isolate themselves, and it's just going on more and more. And it's better to have more allies than less. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for today. Rambling about. But overall, the good news is, again, Trump can't necessarily pull out of NATO without Congress approval. Unless somehow Congress approved it, I don't see it happening. Probably not. Hopefully not. But for the sake of NATO and the alliance itself, Trump would need Congress to approve. Granted, again, he has done multiple things without their approval constantly. Who knows? He's kind of he's like a rebel. That's what Congress is supposed to be. Overall, I don't see it happening at least anytime soon, hopefully, unless Congress has a change of heart. Or, granted, again, Trump is like soon, possibly. So we'll see. Hopefully, I actually do. Yeah, paying this much money. Gas is expensive, everything's expensive, man. Trump constantly says it's the golden age of America, right? All a big lie. Anyways, though, again, Trump can't pull out of NATO. That's a good thing. Congress approval. So we are in luck with this. Again, if they randomly said yes, so yeah, let's do it, then yeah, that would be bad. But hopefully Congress improve their thing. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video, and have a good day.